Okay, pre-calc. So we're going to finish up this first part of lesson 5.4 by looking at number 35, and then we're going to have a look at this trig identity sheet that I made mention of in the first video for lesson 5.4. All right, this problem you're going to be working backwards. So they're basically giving you the tail end of the problem, and you're going to match that up with the right side of one of these formulas. So this one has sine and then cosine plus cosine and then sine. So I'm going to look at these and say, okay, well, this one's cosine, cosine, that's not the same. Cosine, cosine, again, not the same. This one's sine, cosine, but it's got a minus there, so that's not going to work for us. We're looking for one with a plus sign. All right, so this is the winner. So what you have here then is this is A and this is B. And so I'm going to take it backwards, and all I need to do here is find sine A plus B. So this quantity equals sine of pi over 12 plus pi over 4. So again, I'm taking pi over 12, I'm putting that in for A. I'm taking pi over 4, and I'm putting that in for B. I'm going to add these together with a common denominator of 12. And that's the sine of pi over 3. And that's radical 3 over 2. So it said find the exact value, so again, that means doing it without my calculator. Okay. I'm going to go over here now and show you the trig identity sheet that we have. Okay. I have marked up a little bit on here already, so let me go ahead and erase some things and just show you what we have. Okay. So on this identity sheet, my apologies to first hour, you were not given this before spring break. Hours 5 and 8, you have a copy of this already, so we're actually going to start using it now. I will attach this file in Canvas, so you guys that don't have a copy, you can go ahead and print it off at home if you have access to a printer. With this identity sheet, we have already covered all of these identities in Chapter 4. This part right here, sum and difference, that's going to be lesson 5.4. Those are the formulas we've already covered today. What they've done is they chunk them together. So we had sine of A plus B on our notes. That was sine of A cosine of B plus sine of, let me rewrite that again, cosine of A sine B. And then we had sine of A minus B in our notes. Sine A cosine B minus cosine A sine B. All right, if you take those two formulas and you switch out the A and B for U and V, and then you write them together, there's your plus minus, and there's your plus minus. So those are the pluses and minuses you see right here. Does that make sense? So if you were interested in finding the sine of U plus V, you would follow the top sign on both. You would have pluses for both. Basically here and here. So if I wanted to find sine of A plus B, I would use this formula, but I would only pay attention to the plus sign. Sine plus, the plus is the top sign, the plus is the top sign here. If I were doing the cosine, on your notes we had cosine of A plus B is cosine A cosine B minus sine A sine B, and then cosine A minus B is sine cosine A cosine B plus sine A sine B. And if you take a look, these signs are upside down from each other. So the plus minus has a minus plus right here. Look at the signs. So just pay attention. If you want to use your formula sheet, instead of your notes, cosine u plus v will have a minus sign joining the two terms. You have to use the sign on top. If I want to find the cosine of u minus v, the minus sign right here is on the bottom. So when I write out my formula, I have to use the bottom sign here, which is the positive sign. Again, just keep your signs straight and you should be okay.